Hi guys, this is part 4 of the video tutorials that I've been doing. In this part we're gonna pick up from where we left in part 3, and we're gonna go into a little bit more detail. So if you haven't watched part 1, 2 and 3, go and watch them first. First of all, what we're gonna do is very quickly summarize what we're doing. So first of all, we went and downloaded the SOOMLA libraries, the core and the store, and you find them here, the latest versions. So we downloaded them, we imported them. We imported core first and then store. Always make sure you've got the latest version. We're using a little game called Crazy Drive. Yeah, if you wanna have a go and see if you like it, but we're not gonna dwell on that too long. So when we have imported them, we got the SOOMLA folder, we got the prefabs folder inside it with the core events and store events. We can see the corresponding script file there for the core and the one for the store. So that's all looking good. We got also the plugins folder, so that's all there. And then once we've imported everything, we went to Windows, SOOMLA, edit settings, and we added our secret. And then we also added our API key from the Google Play, and you find that for your game, and then go to Services API, and it's here. So you copy the entire key, it's a very long string, and you paste it in there. So that is all done. Then with the core events and store events, the prefabs that come from SOOMLA, you need to drop them onto a scene that will be loaded only once. So my preference is the splash scene, which comes up and then you never see it again for the duration of the game. So they're there. Now the next thing to do that we talked about was the event handling and also our assets, so defining the assets. So we're gonna have a quick look at the assets first. So that's the assets class there, and I should have started my Visual Studio already to save time, but there we go. So the assets class, that is really where you're defining your game economy. So in the previous video we very quickly had a look at these methods here, and you are to implement them even if you don't have any virtual currency or currency packs or all these things. Implement them, just leave them empty, let them bring a or return an empty array, don't delete them. So in my game, as we said, all I had was some goods, but that was when I've implemented the as soon as I found about SOOMLA, when I knew little or very little about it. So maybe I didn't implement it in the best way, but it is working. So in my game you can buy petrol. Now I could have broken it down to 1 liter of petrol and then selling them a pack of 50 liters or a pack of 500, rather than specifying them as a product on its own. But that's the good thing about SOOMLA. It's got loads of flexibility, so you can define in whatever way you feel it suits you best. So get version, that is the version of your let's say database snapshot. So all these all your in-game economy gets saved to a database on the device, which gets encrypted, And every time you make a change, so let's say 50 kg, I need to change it to liters really, because that's not how you define liquid. So for example, if I made some changes like that, then I would have to come here and change this up to 1 and so on, so that the database gets refreshed. Many times some of the guys make some changes and then they say, well, the changes are not saved, well, because you have not increased the version. So make sure you increase the version. Then we looked at the different types of currency or products that you can have, and there are 3 main different ones, but make sure you go and read the SOOMLA knowledge base, because he explains everything in here. Explains the economy model. If you go in the economy model, it will tell you what a virtual item is, what a purchase type is. Many times people go straight to the forum, which is at answers.soomla.la, and they come here and they say, well, how do you do this? I'm stuck there. And the answers are actually in the knowledge base. Just spend some time reading it, read it twice, and then if you get stuck, then go to the forum and we'll help you. So all I've got is virtual goods there, and I've got 3 virtual goods, and what I've done, I've defined them. The type of purchase is purchase with market. That means you purchase it with real money from Google Play or from the App Store. That's what that means. You have purchase with, I've lost the so you can see there, purchase with market, purchase with virtual item. So that is when you purchase it with something in your game. So you may buy a good, could be a wheel or whatever, and you may have to spend 1,000 coins. So you buy your good with virtual items, so with coins. So you don't go to the Play Store for that. And then market item, and you define the ID of it. Now the ID of it is there, and this is the actual ID. And the ID you need to specify it in your in-app product. So the in-app products, I've got 3 of them, and that's the ID right there. And when you define a new app product, you go through this window, and manage products is really version 3 of Google IR will have only manage products. So you go in there, you click manage product, and you give an ID, a unique ID. So let's say I may have something that does 1,000 liters, so I could very quickly try and use some uniformity here. There you go. So I could say continue, then it adds it, then you give it a title, so that will be 1,000 liters, and then a description, and then a price, and let's say I'm gonna price that at 5 British pounds, and then you could overwrite it, auto convert. That's what I've done, and then Google takes care of the price and all the other countries, and then you click save, and for some reason, please check the language. Yeah, so we need to put 1,000 liters of petrol to use in the click save. That saves it, and then if you want it active, you set it to active, and then that appears there. And now if I wanted to have it in my game, I would have to define it here, just like these three, put that unique ID 1000, and then define it here as a purchase with market. Now let's have a quick look at the, you have an example here that you can go and look at for a little bit more details. So we're just gonna have a quick look at it, and I think it's that one. No, I don't think it's that one there. No, it's not that one. Assets, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Assets. So you can see exactly the same thing that I was having there. The version, virtual currency. So the example is got a muffin currency, and it's also got goods. So you can buy all these goods. And one, yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah. So once again, you can see the constants here, and the other thing that you can see, let's just go through it. All these are purchased with market, so that's all good. Virtual goods, so purchase with virtual good, you can see an example of that. And single use visual virtual good is something that can be bought many times, so you can buy it over and over and over again. What I'm trying to find here is the lifetime virtual good. Lifetime virtual good is something that can be purchased only once. You so people use it with no ads, and inside the Play Store you would define it as managed, just as all the others. But if you define it as let's just find that again, as lifetime virtual good, then SOOMLA will know not to go and buy again, and it will also keep track of it. And if you can install your game on another device, and you will restore it successfully, because they will keep track of it through Play Store. Because with every single other product, when you purchase it, SOOMLA sends a request to consume it, and then you can buy again. Well, with the lifetime virtual good, SOOMLA does not send that request, so you can't buy again. Now the other thing that I really wanted to have a quick look at is the events. So the events is really where you manage where the purchases, whenever a purchase happens or any event at all, then you can trap them. And you've got loads of different events that you can trap. Let's just have a look at a few of them. SOOMLA store, and then just say on. No, sorry, it's not SOOMLA store. It's SOOMLA events. And let's just see why I'm not getting the intelligence, because I just want to show you all of them. SOOMLA events. My Visual Studio is not playing nicely, but there we go. So you've got all those events there, on billing not supported, on goods equipped or whatever, on item purchased. So on item purchased and on market purchase, These are the ones that are fired when you're actually doing a purchase with Play Store or the App Store. So that's what I'm using here on market purchase and on item purchase, but the on market purchase is just defined, but I'm not really doing anything here. So that is more as a decoration there. But on item purchase I'm using it, and you can see that it's an action, and these are the ways the actions are defined. And then I've got the purchasable virtual item, and then I go by the ID, and then I link it with my assets, and then I say, was it a 50 liter, did they buy? If yes, then I've got my own credit store. SOOMLA is, I'm really not using SOOMLA to the fullest capacity, because SOOMLA has got all these useful things where you can give items, you can take items. Just read through them, and you'll use them, and that will probably be better. When I try to use them, I didn't take item, give item, and there's all the explanation there. So try and use them. I didn't, because I didn't really read all that, so I just had my own balance where I have a storage, and I just call it petrol, and then I just save a value against it. So set int and get int and all that. And then don't forget to initialize your assets, and you need to do that in the start. And then what I've done with this class, in fact, let's just see if we can events. So if I want to add a new event handler, so let's say I want to add on market item refresh, or let's say on market purchase cancelled. Yeah, so we want to know if something is cancelled. So we go like this, like this, like this, with a semicolon as well, and then it goes red because we haven't defined. So what I do, I just highlight over the on market purchase cancelled, and you can see it tells you what it expects. It expects a purchasable virtual item. So that's what we do there. In fact, I've got one here, and I can just copy it and paste it there, and now it's happy. And inside here, once again, I can have a switch, and I can see which item they were trying to buy that was cancelled, and you have the crazy assets dot let's say that, and then you go from there. So that's how you go and define all the events that you want to try, and you can do that. Now in this event handler, I put it on the splash controller, so it's there. You have to do that, or at least I did, and it's working fine. So now inside my game I have a levels page where I've got all the levels available, and then when I just have some logic here, if something is unlocked, try to play level, it goes to here, and then add some more logic, and then you've got this store inventory buy item. So to buy item, that means you go to the market and buy. So you call that, and you give it the item ID from the assets, and then that initiates the purchasing functionality. So that is really all I wanted to say to close that. But if you read this documentation, you will see all the capability of the store. You've got virtual items and all sorts of items that you can, different types that you can purchase. So come and read it, and then use it. If you have problems, come to Answers SOOMLA, and that will we're here trying to help you, and give it a go and see how you get on. Thank you. That's the last part. If you want to see some more tutorials or whatever, make sure you give me some proper feedback as to exactly what you want to see. So talk about virtual items, or please talk some more about this or that, and then I can look into it and do a tutorial that you would really want to see, rather than me babbling on about stuff. So thank you.